Howdy there. I'm Afro Circuit,
Plot point.
and this is.
It's that one brony show, not the other brony show. It's that one brony show. It's that one brony show, not that brony show. It's that one brony show.
Alright, so this was an interesting week, folks. Interesting week. So,
Wait, there was only a week in between that? Oh god. Time has warped.
it was
Seems
an
like
awful
months between
week.
each and every episode.
So, obviously, first of all, we all know that it happened, and it was something that I was like, Apple, I hate you. I literally, I only touched my iPhone once that entire day, and that was to check the time, because I was like, Apple, I'm mad at you. So, obviously, you all know what I'm talking about, and that's the fact that iTunes released the new episode, Heart and Hooves Day, 3 days early on Wednesday. So of course, a lot of you good bronies out there who who have purchased the season pass, you notice, you're like, holy crap, it's downloading on iTunes. And then other people, your friends, were like, dude, it's on iTunes. And then of course it started spreading everywhere, and so everyone started downloading it. And then obviously a few people obviously there's people who couldn't wait. So they watched the episode. But unfortunately for bronies like me and Plot Point, that meant we basically dropped off the radar. We dropped off the pony radar for about 3 days.
We got our little pony hang glider and we went
Just right under the radar. Because, obviously,
like James Pony Bond.
yeah, the very first problem that arises is that people are immediately going to start talking about the episode, making references to it, and then of course memes that are potentially plot spoiling are released. So basically, we wanted to make sure we avoided everything so that the episode would be new and fresh to us in the morning. So we held out until the weekend. Many of you did not. I know many people who did not. But we did hold out until the weekend. So this episode,
Everybody's waiting for
the
the
weekend.
weekend.
Friday.
Partying. I'm in your mind now.
So this episode was Hearts and Hooves Day, which of course we all know is a reference to Valentine's Day, and it's basically the exact same holiday, only they have a different name for it.
Except they have hooves.
Yeah, they have hooves. So, but one of the best things about this was that we finally got our season 2 Cutie Mark Crusaders episode.
Yeah! Let's do it!
We haven't had one all of season 2, and some people don't like the Cutie Mark Crusaders, so they're like, good riddance.
Well, a unified Cutie Mark Crusader episode.
Yes.
There have been
several Break of Heart episodes, but with the Cutie Mark Crusaders,
couple Sweetie Bells in there, but one cohesive, actual Cutie Mark Crusaders all together doing something.
yeah. So I know I personally I was glad to get a Cutie Mark Crusader because their episodes are always full of all these shenanigans and goofy stuff going on. Stuff that just more the reason that makes the show so much fun to watch. So,
One word to say, folks. Say it twice.
Shenanigans.
It's more than twice.
Yes, my face moved in the wrong direction.
It defies physics. That's how powerful I slap people.
So, one of the first things I just want to throw this in there. At the very beginning, if you didn't notice it, you don't watch the first episode that often. It's the exact same track from the opening scene in episode 1 where we find out about Nightmare Moon and the elements of
Now, if
harmony
you
and
listen
whatnot.
closely, the track after that is actually that scene where Luke looks majestically over the Tatooine.
No, I can't remember what that is, but yeah, the London Symphony Orchestra and all that good stuff. Alright, so obviously, so the opening scene is them making, obviously we assume that they're making a Hearts and Hooves Day card or multiple cards based upon the amount of supplies they're
making
using.
the floor shiny.
or just making the floor shiny.
I just don't feel like it's quite finished. I know what you mean. If it's for Miss Cheerilee, it needs to be perfect. Hearts and Hooves Day only comes once a year, after all. I say we add a little more ribbon. Yeah, and just a tiny bit more lace. A few more hoof prints. Glitter! It could definitely use just a little more glitter. Now that'll show Miss Cheerilee how much we care about her. Just have to get it to the Hearts and Hooves party at school. I think we're gonna need a bigger envelope.
But for one thing, pony glue. They have glue in Equestria.
Somehow.
Where does it come from?
They don't tell people that. Wait,
Maybe that's why Ponyville...
maybe that's funeral pony.
Or maybe that's why they don't seem to have penal colonies in the pony world, like any kind of correctional facilities.
Maybe all the dead ponies have their hooves harvested for glue.
Yeah, maybe it's like donating your body to science, only to kids' arts and craft projects. So anyway, pony glue, really weird. And then of course they're working on it, and then Scootaloo's like, it needs more glitter. Let me just dump this bucket.
Wait, maybe it's gorilla glue.
Gorilla. Yeah, so either way, she takes this whole bucket of glitter, dumps it on there, and so they're...
that makes no sense, because Scootaloo is not the girly one. Why is she... You don't really think of glitter as anything related to Scootaloo.
It's because everything's better with glitter. So...
Not true. Vampires.
Oh, God. Let's not even get into that. My argument has been made invalid. So, it's like this giant glowing thing, and then we get to see it's this huge card, like, huge.
Where did they even get that much paper?
Yeah, we don't even know how they constructed this, or altogether it's just this giant card. We don't know why or how they came to make it, but then they make it, and then of course it's too big to fit in an envelope.
Aliens.
Yeah, it's too big.
Aliens came down and helped them build it. They gave them the exact coordinates. They also built lines which show a giant pony.
Yeah. So they make it. They make this giant card. Doesn't fit in the envelope, which is just adorable. So next we move on to the classroom scene, where just like we all remember these from our elementary school days, and that's how Valentine's Day was.
Something horrible.
Yeah, it was always a day where you gave Valentines to your friends, and it was just this fun activity that everyone participated in. You got lists of all your classmates.
Boxes. You got to decorate the shit out of those boxes with that. Gluing some hearts down here. And maybe this little picture I drew. And this paste. I'm gonna paste this paste so hard to this paste.
So, one thing that Richard...
Paste.
So, one thing that Plotpoint and I, we absolutely love this, is that Fat Pony is back. He's back. He's back. And
he didn't get killed by Pip.
Yeah.
Which he may or may not be.
So obviously, Fat Pony is back.
Fat Pony and Pip, they look somewhat similar. Ish.
So Fat Pony is back, and we all love him. And
Pip ate too much candy.
Maybe that's where the spot thing was just paint.
Yeah.
And he ate too much candy on Hearts.
And he got so big, his voice changed. That's another thing. We finally get a voice for Fat Pony. If you listen, he's the only slightly male-y, deeper sounding voice when they all shout out for Pin the Heart on the Pony.
All right, every pony, who's ready to play Pin the Heart on the Pony?
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
Uh,
Just like Ickderpy, she'll begin first with the voice, then with all the background appearances. Finally, he shall get his own lines.
And he even does. He gets a little acting moment if you pay attention, and that's that. He gets does he get one or does he give it to Sweets?
He gets one from.
Yeah. So So Sweet gives him a Valentine's Day card, and then he's just like, oh, and then they have this cute
And
little
he
hug.
knocked over the stool.
Yeah. And then of course there's this cute little pony in the corner who I guess she was hoping that Sweet would be her Valentine, and she was.
There's all these girl ponies and only one star.
I like the red one.
Yeah, so that pony just dejectedly drops her Valentine on the floor. And note, the same Valentine Fat Pony gives to Cheerilee. I'm assuming he found it on the floor and he was like, oh, I forgot. Ha! Here's one. Here you go, Miss Cheerilee. It's specially for you. So that definitely you've gotta love Fat Pony. He's just this adorable little
And
dude of awesomeness. So next we get to the part where the Cutie Mark Crusaders present their giant, immaculate, shining card.
It's lovely and so big.
It's a monstrosity. It hurts my eyes to look upon it. My eyes.
So obviously it's so big, and then while they're talking to her, it even falls down and like swallows them whole. And so they're
All the time, Miss Cheerilee just has to keep up the charade that, yes, very good. I have no idea what they've done.
where am I going to put this thing? I guess I'll burn it for fire.
I'll burn it
I'll-
out back.
Yeah.
Like the rest.
So obviously this is the part where we get some plot. Like
Miss
if
Cheerilee, there is another Valentine's Day card. Burn it like the rest.
so obviously if you didn't read the synopsis and you had no idea that this was the Cheerilee Big Mac shipping
You must
thing.
have been like,
Yeah, it would definitely have been interesting for you because first of all you wouldn't have already expected it. So, but then again, it also was a bit bit of a generic generic archetype episode. But still, this is when we start getting some plot, and that's that Miss Cheerilee doesn't have a special sun pony, and they're like, what?
Oh, I don't have a very special sun pony at the moment.
Really?
They're very shocked by this
it's
for
impossible.
some reason. They
Impossible.
Yeah, apparently every pony is supposed to have, unless you're a filly or a young colt. But as long as you're an adult, you're supposed to have a special sun pony apparently. So they're very shocked by this. So and then of course then they start pestering her about it, and then you get this moment where they're like, "I can't believe you don't have one," and then she's like,
How could some pony as amazing as you not have a very special sun pony on Hearts and Hooves Day?
just this kind of, you have to remind me. So, obviously, then the Cutie Mark Crusaders take it upon themselves to make sure that Miss Cheerilee has a date. And so, we get a song. So,
The Sweetie Belle song, no less.
yeah, it's fantastic that we got a Sweetie Belle song because I mean, obviously the closest we've ever had to a full song from her was when she did Hush Now Quiet Now, the Sweetie Belle version.
And that was her full jazz voice. I mean, the only bit we've heard of her sweet, nice voice is the Cutie Mark Crusaders theme songs and bits and pieces.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
we are the Cutie Mark. So obviously this song I really like. It was a very fun little song. A nice little
Very good.
Cutie Mark Crusade. They finally got a music number of their own. And we've got and so this entire thing is about them trying to find the right pony for her. So throughout this song, we've got a lot of interesting stuff going on. So the very first thing is when we get to the part where this one's too young. So they now first of all, video games are now confirmed in Ponyville. They have
Pony
arcade
Pac-Man.
games. Pony Pack. And then also, so after that, then the contrast to too young is too old, and we have the preacher pony. But Some people didn't notice this, but it's been memed enough for us to notice, and that's the fact that he's actually running a funeral. So we do have pony death confirmed. And then Sweetie Belle goes
well,
in.
it may not be a pony, but it probably is from the size of the cat.
Yeah.
It could just be a large snake.
A large. But so obviously.
And also pony religion, which is quite fascinating.
So Sweetie Belle interrupts this funeral. Obviously, I'm interested they weren't more outraged at the fact she's like, I'm gonna jump on your preacher's head and rub his noggin.
This one's too old.
So.
Yeah, everybody's probably pretty chill.
And also another thing that we get is if you freeze frame it, there's a pan out scene where it's another one of those DHX shout outs to us, and that's the fact that they shipped together Lyra and Bon Bon and Derpy Hooves and Dr. Hooves, and they're actually like they're together.
It's
So,
just great, folks.
yeah, so they're acknowledging us a little bit there on in the back. Even though it's not directly out there, some of the other things they've given us a shout out for, it's still
tiny
there.
Clock tower with the one door. That is totally Dr. Hooves' TARDIS. I don't care. It doesn't have to be a blue box anymore, because ponies don't have police. They have Wonderbolts, but I don't think the Wonderbolts have a Wonderbolts box.
Yeah, I don't even.
So instead, he's just got this one tiny little clock tower with a little door. And boom, TARDIS.
Okay, so
Makes complete sense.
so this by far. So obviously the goofiness continues with like this one's too short, this one's too shiny, this one's too tall. Then we've also got Too Shiny, which is that rockin' 70s pony.
I mean, she had that 80s gear all worked out. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't work together.
They would work very well together. They were on some transitional ages. I think she would like him. He would bring her back to her younger days. And that's also an example of what happens when your special talent is very era based. I don't imagine he finds work that often doing discos anymore.
What? He had a disco ball. That means he can have any special talent related to bunches and bunches of tiny mirrors.
But like he's still dressed up in the 70s though. I imagine there's probably some sort of disco rink somewhere where he works.
Discotheque.
But by far, one of the ones that stands out the most is Jelly Pony.
Strangely obsessed with tubs of jelly.
He's just gelling.
Joni.
So this one, this is
gelling with Dr. Shell.
This is my weekly. We love you, DHX, and we want to give you a big hug. And it's the barking pony of this episode, and it's this random pony who apparently is obsessed with large vats of jelly and enjoys frolicking about inside of them.
I don't know anyone who would not like to frolic about in giant tubs of jelly or jam.
And and one of the things is he wouldn't be nearly as funny if it wasn't for the face that he makes after, like, as they start to pan out, and that's just this me gusta. So this face is creepy as hell, and it's obviously the bronies' me gusta. We finally have our own me gusta that we can use for memes and whatnot.
Me gusta the jelly.
So that was a fantastic moment in the song. So obviously, after all of this song, it all leads up to them finding out that Big Mac doesn't have a special sun pony, and so
busy.
yeah. So even
He's
if
a
you
working man.
Yeah, even if you didn't know what was going on to begin with, by now you know that they're gonna match Cheerily up with Big Mac, and that's gonna be the plot idea of the episode. And so we move on to how they're trying to set them up. So the very first thing that they try is they try to set up a nice little romantic picnic, but it doesn't go so well.
It fails horribly. It crashes into the ground and it burns to death.
Well, this has been strange.
Yep.
I I need to get going, but it's always great running into a good friend.
Yup.
Yeah, it was awkward, so they're just like, yeah, we're just gonna leave you two here and zoop, hide in the bushes. And so obviously they're not feeling the magic.
They just leave all that food there. That is just disrespectful. They should eat all of that food. Bye. You do not leave food in just a gazebo in the middle of the woods for no apparent reason.
I personally, I love
that food.
Yeah, I loved the moment when they're like leaning in, and then we're like, yes, kiss, kiss, kiss. You have something in your teeth. Oh, come on!
Hey, that was actually bothering me.
Big Mac,
Yup.
you have something stuck in your teeth.
Oh, come on!
I still love just that. Oh, come on! That was
She
just-
said what we were all thinking.
Yeah, we're all just like, ah! And so Sweetie Belle obviously says what we want, and I know that that's going to be my response to anything that outrages me anymore. Just that video clip. Oh, come on! I'll leave a link for it. I'll leave a link for it right here. So,
It was right there. Now it's over here.
So
Just having fun with links, people.
and then so after it fails, we also get some awkward music. The music gets really weird, and so they just wander off after
The
their.
disc is obviously warped. Too hot in Ponyville.
But so that first time they completely fail. So they're walking around dejectedly. They're like, "Oh, mission failed." And so they're walking along, and then they bump into Twilight, who, of course, she has books. She has her books for Hearts and Hooves Day. That's all she needs.
Books. I got them books.
Oh, and this also, for those of you who had that weird shipping thing with that pony from the last roundup, that whole thing about how she was standing next to him. Yeah, apparently DHX doesn't agree with you. She's all alone on this day.
No.
But like I said, has her books. And one of these books is about Hearts and Hooves Day. And then they're walking by, and then she's like, "Hey, did you know it was started by a love potion?"
Did you say a love potion?
Ding! Idea. So they zip right under her legs, and then they're right in front of her, and she's like, "Oh yeah, sure, you can borrow the book." And no, pay attention to their eyes in this particular little section. They have these creepy, narrowed out eyes as they're getting really
Except
anticipating.
for Sweetie Belle, who has the huge pleading eyes.
Yeah, except for the huge pleading eyes.
I would have thought they'd gotten over their whole potion thing after Cutie Pox.
Yeah, who knows? Oh, okay, so this is one thing. Me, personally, as a Twilight Sparkle fan, you guys now know who my favorite pony is. We never really mentioned it. We were supposed to do that first episode, but it never really came up. But
Pinkie Pie.
so
Big Mac is close second, though.
Yeah.
After this episode.
So constantly in my head, I constantly hear things in Twilight's voice. So one of the things I'm sure probably a few of you noticed, some of you may not have, her voice sounds a little off in this scene.
Oh my goodness, I didn't even see you there. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I don't really pay attention to voices that much, and even I can do.
Yeah. So this was a little disturbing to me because at first I was like, "Oh my God, please don't tell me Sarah Strong is not the voice actor anymore. Please don't tell me. Please don't tell." Oh, okay, that's her. Does she have?
She must have just called in sick.
Yeah, she like I don't know. She either wasn't feeling well or maybe she wasn't feeling in the right mood for it. But it was a little off from what it normally is, and I couldn't really hit a note on what it was. But that's not the good old Twilight Sparkle voice we know. So I'm still a little curious as to what was up with that.
Ooh-wee, what's up with that? What's up with that? If you don't know that, you don't watch enough SNL.
Now the next thing that happens is that they after they borrow the book, they completely leave her. They leave her dejected. She's like, I've also got another book. Finally, I have book friends. Oh, they're gone.
I have another book here that I think you'll...
So the next scene, they run off to go make they go to run off and make this love potion. So this is a very interesting little love potion.
You know, okay. Let's go through the ingredients one by one. The tuft of cloud. First, we see a Scootaloo up there catching cloud, and we're like, she can fly? Then no. They're just on top of a cliff. It angers me. They were trolling us.
Now, the next scene is, of course, this one, by far, one of the more interesting moments, and that's them vacuuming up the essence of a rainbow.
It's been well established that the rainbow's colors are...
It is in a liquid form, but I never, like, the idea that it's just in a liquid coating a black and white rainbow, that, like, they're so easy to just steal a rainbow like that. Like, I bet the Pegasus were pretty mad about that. Like, they were like, we had a rainbow scheduled for today, and you just went and stole it. You ruined a perfectly good rainbow.
I don't know. I don't think rainbows are that important, and if they were, I doubt the color coding was actually... Like, you know, it's just the color coding on the delicious chocolate center of the M&Ms.
But, like, what so you're saying the rainbows aren't important? It's
No,
what
no.
brought them together. The main six.
Yes, but as you'll remember, the coding still goes over on that one. It's true, people.
It does...
Look at it. It's about 1 second ahead of the rest of the rainbow. There's a gray scale rainbow. You didn't
Maybe.
see that before.
So...
No, it's true. I've seen it.
Yeah, they steal the essence of the rainbow and then add it in. Spicy! Why wasn't the punch spicy? It should have been spicy.
Maybe it was.
Maybe-
We just didn't see it.
Or maybe the cloud diffused it a little bit.
Or maybe the Pegasus feather.
Well, and maybe I don't know. Another thing
Maybe
is,
fruitation comes when the rainbows put on the rainbow, and you suck off the rainbow juices, and they're deliciously ripe, like Zap Apple Jam.
who knows? Just like the same thing goes for why did the potion work? Scootaloo's a chicken, not a Pegasus.
Stir with the Pegasus feather. Hey!
We all know her feather shouldn't have worked to make it.
It's true. Maybe that's why it went so haywire.
Yeah, exactly. That's my personal opinion. Now the next thing is when they manage to get Big Mac and Cheerilee back together in one place, and so they're like, hey, you should drink this together.
We thought you two would be perfect together. To test it. Together. So, we'll just leave you two alone. Together to test it.
Together.
Hey, test this. Test it. It's just a portal gun. Test it together. Test it.
And then also, of course, we get the whole punch. It's punch. We made punch.
Would you three like to tell us why it was so very important that we meet you here?
Punch!
Excuse me?
Punch! We made punch.
It's just punch. So they convince them to drink it. So they yet again jump into the bushes, and so they're drinking it. And then we get this interesting little. Apparently they've been spending time with Zecora because they get a little rhymey here.
They're looking into each other's eyes.
They're about to be in for a big surprise.
I don't know.
Looking into each other's eyes. Now they're in for a big
surprise.
And then they just throw caution to the wind and just jump out there.
Yeah, so of course the potion immediately it works. They burp up these little two halves of a heart that merge together.
What if they didn't burp people? What would have happened then?
I guess they wouldn't have fallen as much in love, or maybe they would have floated off and connected to some other ones somewhere. But so of course, Sweetie Belle is pleased with this. We get a little yeah. Pops out of the bushes. Down in front.
Well, maybe just a little. I throw caution to the wind, they jump around them, and then we've got the sweet, I have some pony special.
My lovey-dovey
pony special. And then it gets weird.
It just gets,
It hurts where you're male, wherever that may be.
So we get a lot of freaky, like, nose wrinkling, and Shirley does this little cat face, and
The dialogue. The
dialogue.
It's killing them.
So they start talking, and obviously this old traditional lovey-dovey-wovey stuff, and then Cutie Mark Crusaders immediately notice that something's a bit off, and they do these cute little faces, like Scootaloo's like, oh, and then they all just have these different faces, and then they're just like, what the f can you say?
He's my schmoopy-doopy sweetie-weetie pony pie.
What the hell is going on?
Yeah. So now they decide to actually bother to read the rest of the book and find out more about the love potion.
Books, you gotta read them all the way through.
No, not if it is a quick start guide. Gosh.
No, even this.
But so now they find out more about it, and they find out that now this is the first time I think I've ever heard these two words closer than like 8 words apart, and that's love poison.
What do you mean, uh-oh? We might not have given Big Mac and Miss Shirley a love potion. We may have given them a love poison. What?
So it's apparently a love poison that
It makes perfect sense. It poisoned me right after you died. If it weren't for my years of building up a tolerance to Guy cane powder, I would have.
Yeah. Now, Apple Bloom, she builds up this, eventually, of course, she gets all worried about it, and then, she blows it out of proportion.
Great! We've not only turned Big Mac and Miss Shirley into a couple of nonsense-spouting nincompoops, we may have put all of Ponyville in jeopardy! So, she goes on she starts talking about how all of Ponyville might be in jeopardy, and then she starts spouting her little chaos theory. Ponyville will be overrun with uneducated little ponies starving for apples. Oh, it'll be chaos, it'll be chaos!
She can
Wacky waving whatever those
wacky waiting inflatable arm.
Yeah.
We may be getting that entirely wrong.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact phrasing of it, but altogether, obviously, she's flailing her arms about. But then Sweetie Belle calms her down by telling her that there's a cure.
There's an antidote! Well, why didn't you say so? Didn't you see me getting all panicked back there?
So, this cure, it seems fairly simple. Keep them from looking into each other's eyes for a full hour.
They could have just blinded them.
This is true. That would have been the better thing to do. Like, put something over their eyes, or just poke them in the eye so they can't see for a few hours.
I'm sure that ponies have LASIK. I mean, Twilight can shoot lasers. So obviously,
unicorn laser eye surgery. Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. Now this task
I believe the army should. It's just everybody else's against me.
Now
the politicians are against me. That's because half of them are on the other side.
So now the big problem is it proves to be a lot harder than they think it's gonna be. So
because apparently you get super strength when you're poisoned.
Now, of course, Big Mac, we already knew he was a boss, but this just takes it to a new level.
I mean, If Applejack can stop a full cart going, what, like, about 25, 50...
That had to be at least 40 miles an hour.
Yeah, 40 miles an hour or so. She can stop it just in time. And Big Macintosh just blows that entire proportion of strength out of the water.
Yeah, I mean, he pulls a cart full of anvils,
And
then,
the oxen pulling it.
and then he pulls a house. A house with a pony in it.
They should hire him for Extreme Home Makeover. He could just
Big Mac, tear down this house.
Doing, doing.
Bronus, we need to get on Extreme Home Makeover and have them smash a house using Big Mac, or just have him hop away, like pull down a wall. That would just be awesome.
Sweet.
So they have a lot of trouble keeping them apart, and then of course Sweetie Belle blocks Miss Cheerilee into a room with sofas and the kitchen sink and all that good stuff.
Everything and the kitchen sink.
And it comes to the very end point where the only way they're able to stop Big Mac is that they dig a hole.
I sure am glad you found those shovels.
So apparently a house couldn't stop this guy, but for some reason a hole
What?
does.
You have to make stat sacrifices for strength of that magnitude.
Yeah, he loses
He's
out
got
on
a
agility.
straight 10, but he's got like a 0 agility.
Yeah. Like
He's got base to no charisma because his only answers are yep,
and
nope.
and wovey dovey ovey
That's
stuff.
more just a special perk for them. So.
When speaking to Miss Cheerilee, you may speak in lovey-dovey phrases.
When speaking to ponies of the opposite sex, you may have special dialogue options.
Yeah. So they're able to stop Big Mac temporarily, but they're not able to stop Cheerilee. She busts her way out, busts down the door to the Carousel Boutique. I don't imagine Rarity was very pleased with this afterwards.
Well, she's been meaning to do some remodeling.
Now we get this awesome little moment where Cheerilee starts charging. They try to block her view of him, but she still knows he's there.
How do they know where his eyes are?
They have ESP. Or
They have eyes in their face. Maybe that's their cutie.
they're psychic. Who knows?
Well, they did do the psychic test.
They did try to do the psychic test. So they try to block her view of him, but of course it's to no avail, and so she charges through them, knocks them into the air in slow-mo. And then she smack face plant right into Big Mac. And so we're like, did it work? 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 And then they have like these big eyes, and then they're like, why are we at the bottom of a pit?
Am I wearing a wedding veil?
Yep.
Are you sitting on a feather bed in a hole in the ground?
Yep.
Girls, can you explain why I look like I'm getting married at the bottom of a pit?
Why does
Don't tell me that happens again.
Why are we getting married at the bottom of a pit and not in Vegas?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe. Maybe. Yep.
So that's the nice little ending that we get, obviously.
And they ask the girls, and they explain it, and we have the whole, yes, you should learn something. If you're young, you probably shouldn't try setting people up.
Yeah.
A very good lesson for all ages.
A very good lesson. Don't set people up. Let them figure out their own problems unless they ask you. Because then at least they'll be
introducing
prepared.
them to people, that's fine.
But seeing how apparently everyone in Ponyville knows everyone, because it's a fairly small town, like at max 100 ponies. So it would be pretty easy to know, especially a pony like Big Mac, seeing how he's the most prominent stallion in Ponyville that's not upper class. Or...
Plus, everybody goes to get cider, and he's there.
Yeah, exactly. He's part of the Apple family. He's the Apple family's muscle. So now the episode.
You're muscling in on the Apple family. Nope. Nope. And nope.
So at the very end of the
Big
episode,
Mac monster.
yeah, they're given Big Mac's chores as a punishment, and
They're
then
doing all of it. Then Miss Cheerily and Big Mac apparently have had time to go do the picnic, which they just left out there. Everybody just leaves food uneaten underneath a gazebo. Nobody. I just don't like food being wasted, people.
it was a terrible waste of food. Now we're not sure if they were trolling the girls or if they were
They
actually
did
bloom into something because of this. But either way, it's still a funny ending with the whole no.
What are you doing here?
Since you three are doing all of his chores, Big Mac and I thought we'd have a picnic at the gazebo. Ready, Sugar Bear?
Yep, pumpkin pie.
Now this episode, it was a great. This is obviously we have another seasonal episode. I'm definitely gonna watch it every Valentine's Day for the upcoming future. I personally hope that.
Why, hello, future women. Let's just settle down, a nice glass of this fine wine, and watch Hearts and Hooves Day.
It will be
You'll
magnificent.
be my Snuggy Woogie Wookums, and I'll be your honey bear.
Yeah, I personally hope to.
This
I hope
episode
to.
has given you every pet name you could possibly have for a girl
Ever.
or guy, whatever
Ever.
your preference.
It like anything generic. Like obviously there's more specific things for different people, but every generic one gone, done.
This is it before the episode. This is it at the end.
Big Mac did it. Big Mac did it. Big Mac did it.
Nobody's.
So this was an adorable episode. Definitely something to share with your special some pony if they're okay with ponies, or if they're also a brony, or if
they're locked in the car and you just wanted to,
something to do. So this was a good Cutie Mark Crusaders episode. Nice little Valentine's Day episode. I still hate the fact it was leaked so early. So
Yeah.
but obviously. I'm still wondering what the fallout is. We've yet to have any major news about how Hasbro and iTunes are working this out. But all I know is that people definitely got mad. So
Hasbro went, I'm back off, and Hasbro's like,
and it was bad enough it was bad enough that the Derby
you remember
episode.
my authority.
Yeah, it's bad enough that the last roundup still isn't back up yet. Like, they've still yet to put it back up. It's ridiculous. It's been deemed uncontroversial, and yet I guess iTunes still doesn't want to come under fire. I don't really know, but...
Well, I guess we'll just have to do it the old ways.
Piracy. We killed Sopa and Pippa. Now let's pirate.
Please remember to tell your local governor or official of any sort to not support ACTA. Seriously, this shit's serious. No, seriously. You need to stop this shit. Stop it!
This has been a public service announcement from That One Bronycast. Wink.
Stop it!
Alright, so this was
Madhouse.
Yeah.
A madhouse.
This was too big not to mention in our
Yeah.
episode, and we saved the very best for the last. Now, we all know that Hasbro and DHX have been shooting us shoutouts everywhere, and we love them for it, and they have shown that they love us. But this is monumental. I guarantee that there's not a single young girl or maybe a few young women, but I guarantee that none of their target base.
There's like 2 to 100 women for every 100 bronies.
Yeah, so, obviously, I guarantee that none of their target base contributed to this action because they're obviously too young to argue or they just don't care. But that's that Hasbro finally gave us a white Celestia.
We finally made headway into the toy making division.
Yeah, and so now we have a Zakora, we have a DJ
It's
Ponsry.
probably that job opening that happened a while ago. Some brony.
Oh yeah, maybe if there was a brony who took that position,
that might explain.
That
a
might
couple of
explain it.
changes.
He might be because obviously it would be new ideas going in. Like they'd be like, "Hey Jeff, you're a brony. What do you think about this?" No, make it that. Bronies will love it.
Sweet, we can make like $1 billion.
So now and then we also get a Nightmare Moon,
A Zakora.
a Lyra, a Trixie. We get all
DJ
of these.
Ponsry.
Yeah, my favorite background pony. I'm so excited for when that toy comes out. Like, I'm honestly considering camping out Toys R Us for when these toys are released because I really want to get a DJ Pone 3.
I'll use him as a battering ram to get inside.
Squeaky, 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 squeaky.
Squeak. Oh, those are my bones.
So
Why does everyone do that?
So this is my personal shout out to Hasbro, and that's that we now love you 1,000 times more because you've now
The love has been doubled.
Yeah, you've taken your merchandising industry and actually shown that it focuses on us now too. Because now there's so much to offer us, and we don't have to make as many custom things anymore. Like the more Hasbro makes stuff for us, the easier it'll be able to get to. I mean, like I can't wait until they finally start making giant plushies for things. Because I mean, obviously, I have to admire the work that goes into
sized pony pillows.
That would be fantastic. Like all of these things are things that bronies would buy.
Soft as hell.
Yeah, bronies would buy these like that, and they would be fantastic to have, and they would just do extremely well. But they haven't gotten around to it yet. So this is the first step. This is the first step towards gaining more. So again, thank you. We love you, and you
You're
keep
good
doing
people.
stuff. You're very good people. So that brings our episode to a close for today. I apologize for my stuttering. I'm a little tired lately because it's been a long week.
What are you?
So, and then also,
I'm not sleepy.
as some of you may have noticed on the page, I've started posting the songs. I've started a pony board for the newer episodes, and I'm gonna keep uploading videos as I go along. So unfortunately, my upload speed it is a little crappy, so I can usually only get like 1 to 3. And it's more the fact that I'll have to leave, and so I'll only be I'll upload 1, and then I have to go to school, so I'll be gone for 6 hours, and then I'll upload like another 2, and then I also have to do stuff online sometimes for school and also for my own entertainment. So the upload slows it down. So I usually wait until I upload a few a night and stuff.
And I exist in an alternate dimension where time has no meaning.
And I've also been making tons of clips. We have 94 videos on our channel now because we have so many friggin' clips. So I've basically, our goal here is to try to be as much of a hub for you as possible. And we've even started making our own PMVs for your own entertainment. We tried our hand at being creative. So we hope that tell your friends about us if you watch this, and hopefully that they'll like our goofiness and our goofy theories and our goofy things to say. And then also, if anything, it's a hub where they can find, because I always make sure when the new episode comes out, first thing I do is download it as soon as it's available in 1080p, and then I immediately start picking the clips out of it, and then I spend about 3 or 4 hours picking out clips and then rendering them and then posting them all. As a lot of you saw, like there was just random explosions where I would suddenly have 40 videos up from the new episode. So I'm going to continue making clips for you. I'm going to continue to make sure I upload the videos until like we get caught or shut down. And so remember, our goal here is to be a hub for you. So tell your friends we're trying to be a hub, and we'll be as useful to you as possible. And send us any feedback you want. Our email is thatonebronycast@gmail.com, or you can just comment on our page or anything like that, and we'll make sure that we can make this as good for you as possible. And then also, again, on the tech thing, still rocking the headsets because obviously, yet again, money is tight these days, and so it's hard to get a hold of the stuff I need. So
It's tight. You wear it.
as soon as I can.
Out of mother.
As soon as I can, I plan to get a video camera, a tripod, and then, of course, a little snowball mic or some sort of studio recording mic. Because right now we're rocking the headsets, and then we want to send a shout out to our current sponsors, Ghetto Tech. Shout out to us, Ghetto Tech. Right
we
now,
here at Ghetto Tech really don't care about appearances as long as that shit works.
we like right now we're still rocking the iPhone taped to a bucket for our videos, but the iPhone does get moderately okay video quality. And then as for the taping it to a bucket, I probably just need to get a tripod case.
Now, as for our Wi-Fi, we've set up a Pringles can in an array which amplifies the free Wi-Fi from the library.
Well, luckily enough, I do have like obviously my processing equipment. I have a i5 25K processor with 8 gigs of RAM, so I've got plenty of processing power. I plan to overclock it soon. So as for the publishing and stuff, I've got plenty of good stuff, but it's mainly just the recording hardware and software. So we're trying to be as ever better, and hopefully every time we move on, things will just get better and better and better. So, your host, Afro Circuit.
5 point.
Thanks for tuning in. See you next week.
Bye.